Round number 6 of the Toyota Southwest Superlates here at Willow Springs International Raceway. It is September, and we are ready to go racing. I'm Colin Mason alongside of Jeffrey Beth. Hey, you're back.
I'm back. Getting ready. Green flag is in the air for the Southwest Superlates.
September 20th, 2014, round number 6, and they go into turn number 1. Ron Esau, your early leader, in the number 56, and Michelle Nagai in the 72 on the driver's left of Corey Fancy. Saw some dust going into turn number 2 there. The 63, Gail Chase, right behind him, the 59, Kevin O'Connell, the 10, Bear Resniwicki. You saw Gail Chase get off course, and contact.
Oh boy!
And that's a big stack up in front of the field. And surprisingly, the only damage looks to be on O'Connell. I figured the field was all going to bum rush into that corner and get a piece of it. That's a corner caution, and we stay
Looks
green.
like a full course caution, actually, Tommy.
Is it yellow over in the flag stand? It is.
There is a flag. Wait,
So it's gonna be
maybe it's white flag. Maybe the race is almost done.
It might be. Wow. So that was a. I saw O'Connell make a run.
That might be a full restart.
I know, that's what I was gonna think. Here's what I saw, and we can look at the camera that's positioned right in front of it all. Saw the 63 rush it into the corner, but right behind, and you see O'Connell there in the dirt, and he's spinning out. This is under caution, mind you. He had some front end damage. The hood buckled up. He's definitely gonna have to go into the pits for some repairs.
I thought you were recapping the replay. I was like, what are you talking about? Getting ready for a full restart, Tommy. A red flag came out just to dry off the track, just to dust off the track.
The track needed a little sweeping.
September 20th here at Willow Springs International Raceway. Been in, we have someone pulling into the pits.
Looks like Dana Moore in the 5. It looks to be green flag is out.
This is clearly pit strategy on Dana's part.
Hey, you know what? Save tires, save fuel. But that's not how you want to do it.
No.
Heading into turn number 1, Michelle Nagai is your leader out of turn number 1.
Tommy
over Ron Esau.
Moore might have had a tire going down with all the debris that was on the racetrack.
Yep, a lot of rocks went scattering, and that's what you got to look out for if there's a car off track. You need your spotter to help you guide your way around, or at least give the driver some info on where the cars went off track, because these rocks out here can be pretty sharp, and we've seen them cut down tires before.
Michelle Nagai, our early leader. Esau in second with Corey Fancy. Gail Chase gets turned around.
And was that off the nose of the 59?
It looked like it could have been, Tommy. Could that have been payback?
I don't know. But you see the 63 stuck in the dirt, trying to get out of it, and success. Corey Fancy in 3rd, O'Connell in 4th, the 65, George Atkinson Jr. in 5th, 6th, the 10, that'll be driven by Bear Resniwicki, last race went out here, the 51, Steve Hamilton, the 14, Mike Kazzer, and rounding out the field would be the number 10, W of Mike Cohen.
So Tommy, we talk about this race as Dana Moore does continue.
And off track is Esau. 3rd place driver off track. We're seeing a lot of action here in the opening laps of this race.
I think they heard we were putting wall cameras down. He is able to pull it out of the dirt, Tommy. Mentioned Dana Moore getting back on track, but I want to talk a little bit right now about this is a 20-lap race. 15 laps is the first segment, a final 5-lap dash to finish it off. A lot of strategy with tires and everything goes into this. Where do you position yourself near the end of this race?
You know, well, I've seen 2 different strategies. The first one is to stay out front like Michelle Nagai and Corey Fancy are doing. Try to gap yourself from everybody else, and then almost see if you can just cruise, but also find your speed in these cars for when you use those last 5 laps, figure out what your car's got compared to everybody else. Or we've also seen it where everybody else cruises in these opening 15 laps, save their equipment, try not to burn off the tires in any way, and then come at it hard for the last 5. Two different sets of strategy.
Yes, and Ron Esau and Gail Chase kind of now behind the bar because they both have had spins. and that could do anything to your tires. Noticing a battle for third right now. O'Connell going to give away a spot. We need to keep an eye on that 59 machine.
Battle for the lead through turn number 9. Michelle Nagai leading over Corey Fancy. They're nose to tail as they go down the front straightaway, looking for a way around, drafting down the long front straightaway. Battle for the lead, battle for third. Corey Fancy literally drafting off the 72, Michelle Nagai into turn 1. Nagai holds the lead. Now, going back to strategy, Jeffrey, and of that last 5-lap shootout, there will be a 5-minute break. Now, that will help drivers like Ron Esau and Gale Chase, because they can actually go through and try to fix whatever they need to fix. They can also ride out the rest of this race until that break.
Fancy look at contact with your leaders.
And they hang on to it. And we're going to get more contact over in turn 4, heading into turn number 5. This has definitely been the wildest opening race of the season as far as the opening laps. Holy cow.
They saved it for me to come back. For those that don't know, Tommy and I, we're going again, battle for the lead.
They're closing into lap traffic of very slow number 5 of Dana Moore. He's going to go wide and let the leaders pass on the driver's right.
That could bring out a yellow. I do not think he's going to make it back.
I don't think so, Jeffrey. I look up and I see that blue car just creeping along in turn number 8. Fancy will take the lead. He's going to gap himself over Nagai. When they come back around in front of us here at the top of turn number 4B, take a look at how aggressive these opening laps have been.
Yellow flag is out. Full course caution, the second one of the race. Dana Moore is back under power, however. But Tommy, we talked about it. It looks like Moore, however, may be suffering from a mechanical issue as opposed to a tire for him to be that far off the pace.
And it's been a long time since that car's been out here at Willow Springs. I'd say this might be his first race of the season out here. Now, what I was mentioning about how aggressive, look at the driver's door of this leader car. Corey Fancy's car, look at the entire left side, marked up.
Let's look at the 72 as well.
And it looks pretty good. Getting ready for the restart. If it's anything like the other 2 that we've had.
Hold on.
Holy cow. Actually, I should say if it's, well, yeah, in theory. We've had 1 start, 1 restart, and we're going to have another restart, 2 cautions so far early on in this round number 6 of the Toyota Southwest Superlates, Jeffrey, and we're getting ready to talk about points.
Yeah, right now our leader in the race, Corey Fancy, the number 29 machine, defending champion. He won it in 2013, Tommy. He is the point leader, and I'm watching him risk it going for this win. Now, of course, these guys want to win, but he has a point lead that he needs to kind of keep an eye on, and we're green.
3 wide, it looks to be going into turn number 1. Look at Atkinson to the inside. He will get the door slammed on,
but he does pick up a spot over Nagai.
Yeah, Nagai washes up a little bit, and here comes O'Connell. The hoodless Kevin O'Connell making his way through the field.
The hoodless hoodlum.
That's right. Who would have thought that a hoodless Superlate model could run in 3rd place on a 2.5-mile road course?
Kevin O'Connell.
But it would be Kevin O'Connell that can do it. So Fancy with the lead coming up the hill. Atkinson 2nd, O'Connell 3rd, and the guy slips back to 4th. Esau makes his way up into the top 5.
Yeah, after spinning off course. Now, talked about the points. Now, he is right now racing.
Looks flat left front for the 14 of Mike Kaiser. So he's going to have to limp his way into the pit area. It's deflating. It's not flat yet, but give it some time. Probably the remainder of the course, and it'll probably be on the rim by the time he gets into the pit.
Dana Moore still in the pit area, Tommy, with his mechanical issue.
At number 5, yeah, it's like I said, it's been a while since we've seen him. That could be an issue of mechanical, or maybe the driver just wants to put around. Huh? You never know. Huh. No, yeah, we've seen Dana Moore, but not often out here.
We've seen him at Irwindale.
We have. In a different car. This is a super late model. You have the late model that he raced once at Irwindale.
So Tommy, points. Corey Fancy, your point leader, being chased down right now by the number 10 machine of Bear Resnowicki. Now Resnowicki right now has a 7-point gap to make up on him, but that's not a lot of points when you consider this series, how close it is with bonus points and everything, and I believe that's what Corey Fancy's going for, is trying to lead the most laps. So if he can pull that off, because I believe, if I heard correctly, Resnowicki was our fast time qualifier.
And when I was talking about strategy at the beginning of this race, how there's two different sets of strategy that we've seen. The first one is what you see the number 10 of Bear Resnowicki doing. He's going to be the one that we normally see cruising in this beginning of the race. The first 15 laps, he's going to get settled into the car, not burn off his stuff. But all season long, you've seen the 29 of Corey Fancy staying out front, making his way through the field to get into the lead. And that's where he, cruises, but also fields out that car so he can know to be confident in the last 5 laps.
And Tommy, compared to last year, only 2 winners so far this year. It's been Corey Fancy and Resnowicki. Battle right now brewing for the 4th position between Nagai and Esau.
Esau went off track. Nagai did a great job of holding on to her car from getting off track. Everybody seems like they've had, their close calls so far this race.
Oh, yeah.
Moore still in the pits, trying to see if Kasser has made it back on track.
I haven't seen him, Tommy.
He looks to have pulled it into the garage area. Probably because I think he's his only crew guy. And I'll be honest when I say that, I think he is his only crew guy.
So we're going to keep an eye, of course, on this point battle and reference it throughout.
And there's a reason why we're going to keep our eye on it so closely, because there's a race that was originally scheduled at the beginning of the year for November 8th, which would be the next race. But that race was scheduled to be a little over a month, actually exactly a month from the December Winter Classic, the annual Winter Classic out here, the biggest Superlate model race at Willow Springs. And so, to give it more preparation,
I think the heat's gotten to you today.
I think my mic. I'm trying to fix that too. To prepare more, to get more prepared for the annual Winter Classic. I think I need another quarter to keep me going. The race officials have decided to
cancel the race.
And
I couldn't wait for you anymore.
Absolutely. I'm taking my time, Trevor. There's one car that went off the dirt.
Yep.
And we've got, I would say, 7 more laps till the break. So
watch.
Right now is where you see the strategy kicking in. So I'm taking my time with all my senses, waiting for something to happen, and we might see a battle for second spot.
George Atkinson and Kevin O'Connell. George in the green number 65 machine with Kevin in the 59. Mentioned his nationwide experiences so far in 2014. It's been fun to watch, Tommy, where you kind of look at a driver and go, hey, we see him on a regular basis.
No, and he pulled the rabbit out of his hat early on in this year, finishing on the podium. Unbelievable.
So the other driver, we talked about the 2 drivers chasing each other down right now for the points. There's one
for 4th. You see Esau get by Nagai over in turn number 8. And yes, continue on.
I was just going to say there's one other driver within striking distance right now, and that is the number 63 machine, who's had a more than exciting race.
Twice exciting.
Yep. Right here trying to chase down Bear Resnowicki. Lots of chasing going down in this race. Tommy, a busy day for Low Budget TV. We're going to be going from Willow Springs all the way to Bakersfield Speedway in the matter of hours. I think we're low budget. It's too early for us to be doing this.
Exactly. This is definitely out of the norm. I think I was good in front of the camera.
I'm just checking out the beautiful sights.
Look over here at turns number 2. You say 1 and 2, but it's only one corner. So turn number 2, you see the battle continue with Resnowicki and Chase. You come into turn number 3, and Chase was chasing down Resnowicki. I think Resnowicki either got on the gas pedal a little more or Chase is backed off his chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
Damn. We're low budget. Like there's low budget and then there's us.
Oh yeah.
Like man. But you folks, I think if we do have pictures that we can insert to this, we have to show them some of our camera mounts we have.
Oh man. The fans love to see it, of course, but I think we also love to see how crazy we can get with our cameras.
One on a cone, one literally being held up by rocks. Tommy, keeping an eye on the top three. You know, Ronnie Esau on that 56 machine, despite having his trouble going off course early on in this race, he looks like he might have a strong machine here towards the end of the first segment.
He's been showing that 56 is muscle out here in these past couple races. That 56 car is running very strong. But circumstances are usually what doesn't go well for that number 56, Ron Esau. So he's a veteran of Willow Springs Raceway. He knows road course racing. He's done it in the Cup Series.
Ooh, Atkinson with a bit of trouble through that turn.
He got way sideways. But Ron Esau up into the 4th place.
Things have calmed down just a bit now.
This is the point of the race, folks, where low budget TV gets low budget, because we even have to settle down because we know what's coming. We know that last 5 laps, you got to save your energy, whether you're a driver or a cameraman, because it's all about to get even more wild. And folks, if you're in the area, come on down to Willow Springs International Raceway. The last race of the season, which is the next race, comes in December. So you get a bit of a break between now and the final race of the year. So try to plan accordingly. It's the only motorsports event that I can think of in the West Coast in December.
Yeah, swsracing.com will have all the information you need there to check out the schedule, keep an eye on points and everything. If you want to know the official results, you know, heck, we could put a link in our description with it. Tommy, Ronnie Esau is on the bumper of Kevin O'Connell.
And an update on Mike Kasser fans, the number 14. He is back on track from the pit area, and I literally think he probably got out of his car and changed his own tire.
Trooper.
Now you see a big gap between 1st and 2nd, but there's no gap at all between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now is the point of the race where you got to set up the invert. Yes, so they're going to go into the brake, pit, get the fuel, adjust the tire pressures if needed, inspect the car, but the leader at the time right now, Corey Fancy, will go into the pits and pick a card, and that card will determine the invert of the last 5 laps.
It's gonna be crazy, because you know Bear Resnowicki, he's right now saving his equipment, and Esau is able to make the pass on O'Connell. So he's gonna move up to the 3rd position, might even make a move here on Atkinson before this segment's over.
Esau's trying to bank on right now a 3-card invert, but now he's making a move to Atkinson. He might be trying to get a 2-card invert.
I crack up because
I say card, yeah, because it is. It's
a number 3 card.
It's an oversized playing cards. So, I just hope the Joker's in there somewhere.
Full invert.
Oh boy. So yeah, you see Esau trying to make his way up to the 2nd place. So he's got to get around George Atkinson Jr., who's having the race of his career right now.
And Tommy,
2nd spot.
You talk about, you know, saving your equipment. Fancy right now has no reason really to try and pull away from anyone at this point. You don't get bonus points for pulling away from the field, finishing 5 or 10 seconds ahead. Right now, all he wants to do, as Esau does make the move for 2nd, but all he wants to do is just cross the line ahead of everyone else.
Man, it's tight over there for the 2nd spot. You see O'Connell there in the 59. Just kind of watching it all, figuring out what's going to happen in front of him, where to go if something does happen. But he's going to look to the driver's right of Atkinson. Atkinson will attempt to shut the door in turn number 8. Battle side by side through turns number 8 and 9. 8, a long wide sweeping corner. Turn 9, it pinches off real tight right there. And so you got to set up the entire corner just for that one spot, because that spot can either make or break your front straightaway speed. A fantastic battle at that. Can O'Connell get the job done in turn number 1? It looks like he will get the job done. So Atkinson, after I just gave him all types of accolades and props, self's back to 4th.
Maybe he's banking on a 4-car invert.
It could be. That'd be the smart way of thinking it. I think the maximum number is 6.
So you want to be in the top 6.
You do.
Now, is it worth pointing out that Bear Resnowiecki's in 6th? Would that be worth pointing out?
And it'd also be worth pointing out that Gil Chase is going to do everything he can to close in. I think definitely the farthest you want to be is 7th, because you're still around. Like, that's the, you kind of have the least to lose if you're 7th, and potentially the biggest thing to gain, other than being the leader if they do a 6-car.
Yep. Hamilton here through the turn number 4 in his 51 machine. He's a regular of the series that we've seen, and sometimes he's busy outside of the racetrack.
Stock Car Products, that's where he gets his name familiar from. That's where I remember Steve Hamilton. He's also a weatherman. No, I'm kidding.
He's also a Batman.
He's Batman and Robin, depending on days. Trades off odd and even days of the week. Corey Fancy.
See, people probably didn't know that.
I don't think I was supposed to say.
People probably weren't supposed to know that. Good point. But cars have stayed on track so far in this segment. And by I say this segment, I mean since our restart, things did calm down.
I think they had no choice but to calm down.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had any cars left. Esau holding that 2nd spot. I gotta say, I think it would be a surprise if you were told what happened to 2nd and 3rd place in this race. You wouldn't expect it to be 2nd and 3rd place at this point.
Okay, so since we're the TV crew of the Toyota Southwest Superlates, and TV crew likes to create drama, do you think that if they get around each other on the restart, do you think that the 59 and 63, O'Connell and...
Are you suggesting that Gil Chase might have something to say to the 59's rear bumper?
Because I'm asking you.
You know what? We saw the 63 car go around twice, and as far as Gil is concerned, he might be convinced that Kevin has one coming, or 2 maybe.
And I'm gonna have to second you on that one. I would not be surprised if maybe there's some bumper tag at the beginning of the restart, because that's where you can move a ton of positions in the last 5, and you can't make it up on 5 laps.
Right.
You know?
And Tommy, you know, we talk about the points here, we talk about your leaders, we talk about the top 3, but another important spot to be in the points is in the top 10. And that could be one of those things that guys kind of have circled, oh, got to make it in there, because there's something special that happens at the end of the year.
You get to enter to win. If you're in the top 10, you're automatically entered to win a brand new Toyota Tacoma pickup truck, courtesy of Toyota and their title sponsor of the series. And George Atkinson Jr. in the 65 was the winner of that contest. Last year's banquet, or actually I should say, yeah, last season's banquet that happened in January of this year.
Michelle Nagai led early on in this race in her 72 machine. Started up front and held off the drivers for a while, and then it got a little tight going through turn number 4.
Right in front of our noses, so every seat so far has seemed to be a good location to watch the Toyota Southwest Superlate race. I think we've chose the best though, because we got to see 2 incidences right in front of our noses. And you can come out here for $10. Every ticket is a pit pass for all of 2014 season racing and looking into 2015 and beyond. Every ticket a pit pass, $10 admission, and you get to go right behind us. We're standing in front of the famous Budweiser balcony, where you can go sit up inside and see a bird's eye view of the entire property, as well as we've got some grandstand seating as well.
Well, Tommy, that is going to be a wrap here on the first part of the segment. That means we have 5 laps to go in the Toyota SWS, round number 6 of 7 here on September 20th, 2014. Corey Fancy, our point leader, is the leader.
And he's going to be the one to determine where he starts in this last 5-lap shootout.
Tommy, this is almost a picture-perfect day. I mean, look at the beautiful view we have here.
The clouds over the mountains here in the Antelope Valley.
You can see for miles of the Antelope Valley.
It's a beautiful thing.
We filmed nearby just a little earlier this year at the Antelope Valley Fair. We got the Demolition Derby out there. We actually were out there for the figure 8 race, but
it was we had our own mechanical issue.
So we'll have to make up for that next year.
Oh yeah. And I think the drivers are going to help make up for that.
Tommy, this is it. 5 laps to go. Red flag is going to come out, and we will come back.
Here we go for the restart. 5 laps to go for round number 6 of the Toyota Southwest Superlates in September 20th, 2014, Jeffrey. And we look at the invert, and Corey Fancy pulled a 2.
That's right. That puts Ron Esau on the pole for the last 5 segment, you could say. 5-lap segment. Tommy, Ron Esau right now, where this gets interesting, may have had the best car at the end of that last segment, but watch the 10 car. Bear Resnowicki now knows if he's going to make up any ground in the points, he's got to make an incredible move in the last 5 laps.
It's going to be an exciting one. All the fast cars are literally in the front. It's going to be a Saturday day shootout. Pace car pulling in to the pit area, getting ready for the green. You see the field
and the wind's picking up,
ready to go. It's just adding to the intensity, Jeffrey, is what it's doing.
Here we go.
And green flag is out. 5 laps to go in the second to last points race of the year.
Looking for any advantage. Esau to the lead.
Esau's 56 has been strong lately, and he takes the lead into turn number 1.
The guy making a move. She's looking for 3rd.
See some drivers getting onto the dust, throwing up a storm. Atkinson slips back. That allows Bear Resnowicki to make a move to the driver's right. He moves into 5th. Into turn number 3. Esau leads over Fancy. Esau washes up. Fancy looks to the inside, not able to get it done. There's single file to turns number 4.
Still keeping an eye on the number 10 machine of Bear Resnowicki. He was on the bumper of Nagai, and Nagai holding him off right now.
Resnowicki, the winner of the last race out here.
And everyone cleanly through this first portion. Tommy, I gotta say right now, Ron Esau could be our 3rd different winner of the year.
Resnowicki is battling with Nagai, gets by, going into turn number 8. Resnowicki in that 10 car, you pointed it out earlier before the restart had happened. He is on a mission.
Yeah, he was saving his equipment. That's clearly why he was right up in about the 6th position. Was hoping for a 6-car invert. That would have set him up beautifully compared to Fancy. But the race ain't over. 4 laps to go.
Fancy is looking for a way to get by that 56. Fancy could also be riding it out, waiting for the last lap to pounce.
I'll tell you someone who's not waiting.
Exactly. That 10 of Resnowicki. It seems like he put some new colors and numbers on that car, and everything changed for the better on that car.
He's looking to the inside of the 59 of O'Connell. Oh boy.
And we're gonna see some short track road course racing.
Oh, that could get to that point. O'Connell's already used the front end of his car a couple times.
Doesn't need to look pretty anymore. They just taped the hood onto the car. That's about it. I doubt it even has hood pins on that thing. Down to turn number 6, into turn number 7. They go to the left, and they make a right into turn number 8. And nothing has changed between the top 4, but Resnowicki is closing in and making a move to the right side of the 59. Resnowicki is up to 3rd.
And with 3 laps to go at the line, Tommy, he's probably right where he wants to be. He is just behind Corey Fancy. It's only heating up from here. Fancy still within striking distance of Ron Esau on the 56 machine. Here comes O'Connell back to the inside of Resnowicki.
Not able to get the job done into turn number 1. And Resnowicki storms out of turn number 1, putting the pressure on Fancy.
We saw how hard Fancy fought to get the lead earlier. How hard will he fight to hold on to the championship spot over Resnowicki?
Points, points, points. The second to the last race of the season. And that's exactly what those two are thinking right now as they're battling for the
Fancy
win.
dives into the turn. He gets into Ron Esau.
Esau goes off the course in turn number 3. And the bad luck continues for that 56 of Ron Esau, literally every race this year that he's been in.
There was no way Fancy was going to make that turn going into it.
Not at
Tommy,
all.
now Bear Resnowicki saw that Fancy wasn't afraid to rough someone up. Resnowicki is closing in.
Gil Chase and Atkinson made some contact going down into turn number 5.
And they're still ready to make more. And here comes Resnowicki to the inside.
Short track cars on the big road course here at Willow Springs. You're going to see this excitement out here every time. And can Resnowicki get around Fancy?
He's going for it, Tommy. He's looking on the outside.
They drag race down the front straightaway, side drafting as much as they can into turn number 1. Fancy slips back into the second spot, move Resnowicki from mid-pack up into the lead. You can see the 29 starting to peel the door, the right side door off that car. That could be a contributor to him losing time, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. That 10 of Resnowicki, you saw him drive through the field up into the lead.
And not quite literally. Fancy, you could almost say, went through Esau. But I gotta say, Tommy, man, what a shame it is for Ron Esau. He was right up there battling it out with just 3 laps to go. He held onto the lead. You talked about this battle a little bit between Atkinson and Chase.
They've been bumping into each other, that's for sure.
And you imagine Chase is, he might be losing patience at this point. As we talked about, he was within striking distance, but these two might.
Here we go again. Into turn 5. That's where Chase slipped up into Atkinson last time by. Not able to get it done. Looking for the white flag this time by.
What a race it's been here on the September 20th afternoon at Willow Springs International Raceway with the Toyota SWS Southwest Superlates. The white flag will be in the air this time by for Bear Resnowicki in the number 10 machine.
Maybe not. Nope, never mind. 2 laps to go, how about that?
I need to learn how to count.
You and me both. You know the next lap's gonna be the checker. We've seen that before.
Well, here's a battle going into the turn. Esau trying to make up any time he can.
He's probably just driving anger right now.
Imagine if the yellow came out.
Oh boy. Now, we've seen it in the past where Fancy has been able to close into your leader. I don't know if that's gonna happen today, but Resnowicki has made a couple of bobbles to lose a race while being in the lead. Anything can happen in these final 2 laps.
Atkinson and Chase continue to fight it out for the 4th position. Yeah, that's funny. You know what they must do here? And it just goes to show how long it's been since I've been here. Maybe they say 5 laps to go happens the next time. I don't know. Maybe my counting is bad. This is why I'm never going to be an engineer when I get there.
That's true.
Well, Tommy, it's been an incredible race thus far. Watching the flag stand.
Will we get our white flag this time by? Oh, they're teasing us.
Okay, now I'm certain that something's up. Bear Resnowicki crosses the line. What should have been?
Maybe we just don't know how to do anything.
Is there maybe this was a 10-lap ember? I don't know what's going on. Welcome to Budget TV. Most uninformed racing coverage you'll ever get.
Into racing.
I'm genuinely curious right now.
I'm baffled right now as well.
Like, I'm pretty sure Bear Resnick just won the race.
But he didn't yet. He won it, but he didn't. Either way, look at the streamers on that 59. It's pretty good. It's ready for a party.
Well, Tommy, nothing big has changed in the last couple of laps.
No, nothing has changed at all in the last couple of laps. We're all kind of just looking at them, thinking, what's going on?
Suddenly, I have faith in my counting.
Everybody's looking around at each other. Well, how about this time by? The 10 of Bear Resnick might get the white flag out of turn number 9 as he heads down the front straightaway. See the flag?
There's the white flag. Oh, but Tommy, the white flag is out. Your point leader is pulled into the pits.
What happened to that 29? If there's an issue,
I honestly think
he's pulling into his pit stall. He pulls into his pit stall.
They are sitting him back out. There is confusion at the Toyota SWS Series.
Man.
Right now, Corey Fancy thought the race was over. I don't know who else thought the race was over. It clearly was.
Everybody thought that the race was over, but no one went into the pits.
Tommy, that's because
we don't know how to count. According to
Bear Resnick celebrating right now. I thought it was the white flag they had in their hand.
Maybe we're just in overtime. Maybe this is bonus time. Every lap you get scored an extra bonus time.
Tommy, the 29 machine of Corey Fancy wouldn't have pulled back out if the race was over.
No, of course. We saw the white flag come out.
I think something happened as far as the communication between the officials and race control.
What a weird, Jeffrey, anything can happen in racing.
Yeah, but Tommy, I'm keeping an eye on the flag, man. I thought that was the white flag. If they pull out the checkered right now and Bear Resnick pulls in the pits.
Here comes the checkered flag, Jeffrey. Out of turn number 9, down the front straightaway, Bear Resnick.
Yeah, but Tommy, he's not under full pace. He will get there first, but what the hell?
2 for 2. And it's official. There's the checkered flag.
I don't even know.
Man. Side by side at the line, it's going to be Atkinson.
What? Tommy, you realize that with this whole change of events, if things hold the way they are, Corey Fancy and Bear Resnick might, it's definitely closed the gap. They might be tied for the point.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's a tie. I believe that Fancy led the most laps, which would have him an extra bonus point.
Just a few. Look at Resnick drifting.
Well, Tommy, that's going to be a wrap. We will keep you all updated as best as we can on our Facebook page, Low Budget TV on Facebook, as far as what exactly happened here at the Toyota SWS September 20th. What a strange event.
Here we go.
Boy, you got to love it.
Freestyle. He's probably going to knock all over cameras here.
Good. We'd probably deserve it. Tommy, that's a wrap. Woo! Thank you for watching. I'm Jeffrey Best with Tommy Mason, and we'll see you next time at the racetrack.
Time to go to Bakersfield. All right, so we have some updating to do after the last round of the Toyota Southwest Superlates. Jeffrey, tell us about it.
Yeah, so a lot of confusion happened near the end of that race. You guys can probably tell, Tommy, we were acting like we had no idea what was going on because
we didn't.
We didn't. Now, we're going to start this back before the break even happened, before they threw the yellow flag or checkered flag for that first break. Now, remember, recap, it's a 15-lap segment and then followed by a 5-lap segment. However, this race got different. What happened was, you may remember, a lot of caution laps were running this race, so something was being cleared up at the beginning. Now these super late models can run between 23 and 25 laps on the Willow Springs 2.5-mile road course. The problem is when you have a 15-lap segment and you have that many, couple of yellows and a bunch of caution laps to go with it, they were like, we're cutting it too close. So they told the drivers, we're gonna cut this early and put those 2 laps on the end of the next segment, or the beginning of the next segment, however you want to put it.
And that is what screwed us up. So what they do, they had a 13-lap segment at first, followed by a 7-lap segment to complete the full 20 laps.
Yes.
That was scheduled for the weekend.
Now that all makes sense now, because Tommy and I were going, it's been 5 laps, where's the checkered flag?
Exactly.
We were correct. Our counting is good. The thing we didn't know, and the problem is we don't have any communication with the officials. That's why we had no idea what the heck was going on at the time. Probably going to remedy this next time, maybe have a radio on us just so we can clear up those kind of confusions. Now, they talked to the driver, said, you want a 5-lap segment or a 7-lap segment? They said, hey, let's run the whole 20 laps. So a 7-lap segment it was. Now, that is the first check mark. The second check mark is our confusion with what happened to Corey Fancy with 2 laps to go, which we thought he pulled in because, again, we thought the race was over. It wasn't, but we're like, they never threw the checkered. Why is he pulling in the pits? He must be confused.
Of course.
It's not the case. If you recall, it's kind of hard not to. Coming into turn number 4, he had a lot of contact with Ron Esau, sending Ron Esau off the track. Now, Corey, a very aggressive driver. Now, granted, he's a race car driver. A lot of them can get a bit aggressive out there, but Corey was penalized with a drive-through penalty.
Now, let's get into that incident there.
Yeah.
He was feeling the pressure. Here came the race winner, Barry Resnick, on his tail. He saw it in the rearview mirror, and he had one spot up ahead of him that he needed to get into that lead. And these two are battling for the championship. And going off that championship, let's cross another checkpoint. That penalization, that stop and go penalty, really just tightened up.
Oh, incredibly tightened up. Folks, we have 1 race to go at Willow Springs International Raceway for the Toyota Southwest Superlate models. And Tommy, we are going into this race with a 2-point differential between first place, Corey Fancy, and second place, Bear Resnick. And he's coming for it. An emotional win for Bear as well.
Absolutely. He went back-to-back wins, so he's looking to win the championship if he can get around the 29 of Corey Fancy.
Now, also, should add, we have 2 other drivers who are within reach. They need to have enough cars show up for this race to make it happen.
Which will happen at the Winter Classic. It was the biggest field last year.
Yeah, Gel Chase in the 623 machine, who we saw have trouble on the first lap of this race, still in it to win it, as well as Michelle Nagai after a couple consistent runs, keeping herself in the championship hunt, 18 points back. Again, a lot's going to have to happen for it to work out for her, but if there's one thing that this last race showed us, Tommy, you never know going into it.
Always, always. You never know what these full-bodied stock cars will do on a road course. Jeffrey, let's get on with the next race, the final race of the 2014 season out of Willow Springs International Raceway, Toyota Southwest Superlate.
The second weekend of December. Hopefully we'll see you guys out there, but if not, we'll have plenty of coverage coming from it.
Oh, yeah.
Low Budget TV.